What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another video on my channel. In today's video I am going to be highlighting two of my more recent eyeshadow looks that I have been creating with my Project Pan palettes. Now I will have my Project Pan down below, and as well as the other previous video that I've done with the similar nature. I believe I did it sometime in January. And basically in today's video, I'm going to be showing you, like I said, those two looks that I've been really enjoying. This, of course, what's on my eyes today is the first look that I will be showing you guys. And the other look is the more pinky neutral look that you guys have been seeing me wear quite a bit as well. I wore both of these looks predominantly, at least on my channel, in the month of February, and I'm still continuing to wear these looks mainly because I'm still trying to hit pans on the main shadow in each look, but also because I've truly just been enjoying them. I do enjoy my crazy color looks and my crazy combinations. You guys have seen that all throughout my channel. I'm still going to love those as well, but I'm finding a new appreciation really for these kind of more glam soft makeup looks, specifically in the eye area. So rambling aside, if you're interested in seeing how I created these looks, seeing some tutorials, maybe getting some inspiration to shop your collection, if you have the exact same palettes, it's super easy. If you don't, I'm sure you have similar shades or something that you could replace, then yeah, let's get into it. Okay guys, so basically today what I want to do is show you guys one of the two main looks that I've been really enjoying since I've had my Project Pan eyeshadow palettes. I do still have all of these specific palettes in my Project Pan, so it kind of just works out. And I just wanted to show you guys kind of the way that I've been able to kind of create these looks. They're pretty simple, so hopefully you guys enjoy. So yeah, first I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Sassy Sienna's palette, and I am just gonna go ahead and go right into the dark brown shade. I am going to use a fluffy blending brush, and this one happens to be from BK Beauty. It is the 201 blending brush from BK Beauty. And so what I'm doing right now is just blending this all throughout my crease and outer V area. If you're wondering, I did prime. I'm using today a primer from Indie brand, and this is from Playing in Makeup by Yolanda. This is in, I believe, her darkest shade, which is E. And it pretty much, I mean, it's not my skin tone, but it's pretty similar. So just blending that all in that crease. So let me just do my other eye really quickly. As you can see, everything is pretty much natural and very, very close to my skin tone. There's nothing really apparently popping out, showing that it's really crazy against my skin tone, which is what I truly wanted. Then for this look, I'm going to do the green look first, and I'm going to go into my Dose of Colors Friendcation palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Sheens, which is honestly looking very, very weird right now. I don't actually know why it's looking that way, but I have a goal, so we're going to get to it. And so I'm going to take another fluffy blending brush. This has been a new technique that I've been really using every time I do a Project Pan look. The last two you guys have been seeing. This one happens to be the MAC 217 synthetic, and I'm really going to dig into this product to get a good amount on the brush. I am going to apply it onto the flat end of the brush though. So once you've got a good amount, just go ahead and apply it right over the lid. Like I said, I already have primer down. And in doing this, you get a lot more blown out of a look. It's not as stark, and it just blends with the crease color. Now, you may think that this look looks slightly different than it normally does. That is because my primer was darker than normal. So lately I've been using a lighter primer, but right now this is the primer that I have. So it's going to look a little bit more darker overall, all the shades, even that brown shade, which was definitely a difference between my skin tone and that shade. Now you're not going to really see that difference. So it looks like I really just blew that green all over my lid, which honestly I'm not mad at all. If you get to a point like this and you want to see more of a difference, what I could say is just bring in a darker shade. So you could bring in a black, you could bring in a darker brown, or even a brown that's a different undertone than you are. So this foundation that I'm wearing, I feel, although neutral, does lean towards like the warmer undertones. So that's why this warmer toned brown is kind of blending in. So hopefully that all makes sense. And then the last thing we're going to do for my eye look today is I'm just going to take a brush. Once again, I've been using fluffy brushes, okay? All fluffy brushes to make it all kind of seamless and more natural and kind of blend together. So I'm going to take another fluffy blending brush. This one happens to be the Crease One from Sonia G. I'm going to go into my Jackie Aina palette, and then I'm going to go into the shade Trust Issues. And I'm just going to blend this in my inner corner, up on my lid, and then slightly on my lower lash line. And that's been the look. This has been how I've created this look. Like I said, it might look slightly different just because of the fact that I had a darker primer. So the eyeshadows did not have the ability to really pop as much as they would have with a lighter primer. So if you want more of the previous version of this tutorial, then I would definitely say use a lighter base. Otherwise, if you're comfortable with it looking super natural and really blending in with your skin tone, then you can use a base that is your skin tone, or, you know, a slightly closer to your skin tone if you're dark like me. I do need to set my cleaned up area that I did for my brow, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put on my liner, mascara, all of that, and then I'll come and show you guys the finished look, which hopefully you guys enjoy. So give me 1 second. Alrighty, so with 3 brushes and 3 eyeshadows, this is the finished look. Let's get into it. So yeah, this is the finished first look. I am going to go ahead and film the second look that I've been really enjoying with these same exact eyeshadow palettes, with a little bit of a twist because I'm going to be adding just one different eyeshadow palette to the mix. But regardless, you guys have been really enjoying the eye looks, and I figured I'm enjoying them as well. I would love to show you guys what I'm doing in the event that you can do something very similar, or even if my new technique that I've really been enjoying is actually beneficial to you all as well. So this is definitely a technique that I think you can use with any shadows, let's face it. But I did just want to highlight really quickly before we get to that second look that I think this technique will be dividends for this particular palette, or any palette where there's very few crease shades but beautiful foiled lid shades. I think this type of technique will really yield to emphasizing those beautiful lid shades, but also getting you to blend those beautiful shades to your skin tone with the few mattes that there are. So that's all I wanted to say really quickly. Let's get into look number 2, which is going to be my more neutral look that I've been doing lately. Alrighty guys, so I'm here to do look number 2 for you all, and for this look, this, like I said, is going to be the more pinky note kind of look, and predominantly the palette that I used for this is the Lime Crime XL2 palette. So I'm just going to stick with this palette, even though I could substitute some other palettes to incorporate this look, but we're just going to stick with how I started, or how I did the look. And first, what I'm going to do is go into the shade Ripe. Now this, as you will see in just a second, doesn't really show up all that much, but I felt like this was a good thing to have in my transition. For those who are beginning when it comes to makeup, I do recommend a transition shade, and then slowly learning how to, you know, use the actual shade you want in your crease and blending it out. But for a beginner, I do truly recommend this because that's how I started. So that's what I would say on that. I am using again that same Makeup and Playing in Makeup by Yolando, the same primer that I talked about earlier. Then I'm going to go into the dark brown in this palette, which is Classic right there. And same brush, this happens to be the number 14 from Refer, in case you are wondering. And what I'm going to do now is start on that outer V, fluff it out, both towards the lid but also up, and blend it out in that crease. It doesn't really matter for the technique that I use how far in you bring the shade. You can bring it in as far as you really want, because truly a good portion of that is really going to be covered up by your actual lid shade. But I would recommend bringing a good amount of it over on your lid, just because you do want that to kind of connect with your lid shade, just for easeability and ease of use, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. Okay, so that's the crease. Super easy, as all of my looks have been lately. I am just going to take same brush, same color classic, and go right along my lower lash line. Okay, so super easy, nice, all that jazz. And just making sure everything is good to go. Now, once again, we are going to use a fluffy kind of but flat blending brush. I could use the exact same one that I used yesterday, but we're going to see if I have another. I do. So this one happens to be from Hakuhodo, and this is the J55, I believe, 23. Sorry, some of the numbers are wearing off. So what I'm going to do is take that brush, and I'm going to take the shade Eve, and I'm going to throw that all over my lid. Now, as I did with the shade yesterday, you are going to kind of have to dig in to make sure that you get the shade really thoroughly on the brush. And that's not, it's just a fact, especially if you want like a nice coating. If you want just a dusting, it's not that hard, but for me, I like to have still an opaque layer of the shade, even though I'm kind of fluffing it on the lid and in the crease with this blending brush. And doing this, you can, of course, see some fallout on your concealed area, just because of the nature of you blending a metallic or a shimmery shade. Just as long as you really set that lower part, it should be fine. So that's the lid. Now, if we're going with the shade that I have historically been using, it is actually the shade in this palette, which is Myth. But in the future, when I'm doing this look, now that I've added a specific kind of light greeny shade, I just want to show you guys what that look is going to be. So I'm going to go back into the ABH Jackie Aina palette and go into the shade Trust Issues. Since I used this shade and this brush yesterday, I'm just going to use the exact same brush and shade, which is the Sonia G Crease 1, and just apply this to my inner corner. Okay, so really simple, very easy, but it works. It's pretty, I feel nice in it, all of that jazz. So I'm just gonna hop off camera. I haven't done my liner, my mascara. I also need to put something on my lips real quickly to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. Let's zoom in. So yeah, like I said, this is the finished look for look number 2. And of course, like I showed you guys, I mainly used the Lime Crime XL2 palette, but I also did take that same inner corner highlight shade that I used yesterday, which is Trust Issues from the Jackie Aina and ABH palette. Overall, these are two of kind of my favorite looks that I have been creating recently with my Project Pan eyeshadows. And because I got so many compliments, I figured it would be useful for you all, but like I said, also to me, just to have this kind of documented on my YouTube channel, so that in the event that I do one of these two looks again, I can just refer you guys back to this video. But I'm not going to talk too much longer. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be Friday. And I am very, very excited to show you guys what I have planned. Alrighty, bye.